Some self-published authors are making a lot of money through no-content books. And in this video, I'm actually going to be joined by Keith Wheeler, and he posts a lot of self-publishing videos over on his channel. And we're going to talk about why does no content make sense for you, some of the reasons you'd want to incorporate it, and 3 different ways you can make more money with no content books. Let's get into it. You're going to be hearing from Keith right now.
Thanks, Mark. Let's get the boring stuff out of the way first. What are no-content books? For those of you who may not know, no-content books are books with no writing in them. Zero, zilch, nada. Things like sketchbooks, line journals, notebooks, coloring books, that kind of thing. Okay, well then what are low-content books? Low-content books are books with some written content, but the rest of the book is meant to be filled out by the end user. Things like planners, prompt books, and workbooks. Well, now that we know what no-content books and low-content books are, you might be wondering, why sell no-content or low-content books at all? Well, there are really 2 main reasons. Number 1 is to try to bring in additional revenue. I mean, we all want additional revenue, right? But the second one is to diversify your brand or business. We all know that putting all your eggs in one basket is never a good idea, because then the rug can get pulled out from underneath you and all of your revenue is gone. But the best part is that unlike normal books, no content and low content books are consumables, which means that once they're used up, they have to be replaced. You're most likely only going to go out and buy 1 copy of Marc's podcast domination book. But when you're done with it, you may go back and reread it, but you don't need to buy another one unless you're going to buy it as a gift. But when you use up a notebook or your kids are finished coloring a coloring book, you have to go out and buy a new one. See? Consumables. So, if you make no content and low content books and they're unique enough and high enough quality, that's when you get repeat customers. Okay, enough jibber jabber. Let's get to the 3 ways for making money with no content books and low content books. Number 1, pick what you know. Line journals are usually where everyone starts when it comes to no content books. You can create a line journal fairly quickly and make a unique cover that speaks to a specific audience you're targeting. Maybe something related to your job, your hobbies, that kind of thing. When it's something you're familiar with, you know the insider lingo and inside jokes that can make for great selling book covers. Also, if you have a business, you can make branded book covers, and when people buy your notebook, they're giving you free advertising. Now, because they are so easy to make, line journals and notebooks are an extremely saturated market, so you'll want to make sure that your cover is better than everyone else's in your niche. Number 2, pick what you need. They say necessity is the mother of invention, and when it comes to no content, low content books, many times that's the case as well. Some of my best-selling no-content and low-content books are books that I created for my own use. Or I took something that I was already tracking and I tweaked it a bit and turned it into a no-content or low-content book. So if, for example, you're doing a lot of dividend investing, you probably want to track things like the stock, what the dividend is, how frequently it's paid, what your investment was originally. Well, if you want to track this information, chances are other dividend investors would want to track it too. So turn it into a low-content book. Now, on the other hand, if you have a podcast, then having a podcast guest tracker may be something useful. You can track the date, the guest, the topic, the episode number, and how many downloads that episode got. This will let you know what topics you want to address again, as well as what guests you want to have back. Number 3, build off your already existing brand. Create a workbook or companion book that correlates with your current book, product line, or business. If your book or brand is nonfiction in nature, you could create a workbook that mirrors the already existing book or product line, allowing the reader to build off of what they've already learned. And to be honest, depending on the size and depth of your product list, you may even be able to create multiple workbooks. Now, if you write fiction, you can create more of a prompt book that will work as a companion to your already existing product. You can prompt them to do things like maybe rewrite scenes or even alternate endings. Now, what if you have a brand but no books or products? You may still be able to write a workbook. Let's say you have a podcast. You can create a workbook that your listeners can fill out based on your podcast. You can include things like the episode number, the topic, 3 things I learned, my favorite part, maybe even my least favorite part. If your podcast has sponsors, you can even add a spot for the listener to write down who the sponsor was for that episode. Then, if you want, you can run a contest and have people send in screenshots of their responses, and they can win a prize or shout out, whatever you want to do. You can actually use those screenshots to gain and track data based on their answers. Wouldn't it be awesome to show your sponsors that 85% of your viewers remembered their name as the sponsor of your episode? Bonus tip, Puzzle books. Puzzle books are huge right now. You can create word searches, word matches, even cryptograms, based on whatever topic or niche you want. Going back to tip 1, by picking a topic that you can create fun and engaging puzzle books around that niche. If you have a loyal following, you can even do puzzle books around your brand specifically. Again, going back to the podcast example, you can do a word match, matching up the episode with the sponsor or the guest with the topic. This could actually lead to listeners going back and re-download and re-listening to your backlog of content just to get the answers. And when it comes to puzzle books, it's really the sky's the limit. Your puzzle book can either be an entire book of the same kind of content, for example, a book of word searches, or you can choose to do a puzzle book that contains a variety of puzzle types. The choice really is up to you. Well, there you have it. 3 ways to make money using no content, low content books. Back to you, Marc.
Keith, thank you so much for joining me on the channel. Keith posts a lot of awesome self-publishing videos for authors who want to make more money with their books, figure out the ropes of self-publishing. So you will want to subscribe to him for more of that type of content. And if you guys are new here, we talk about how to gain visibility and revenue all the time. So do make sure you subscribe if you are new. And I would love to engage with you guys in the comments. No content books is something I haven't really gotten into that much, but it is something I'm looking to explore. So I'd love to hear from you guys what you thought about Keith. And signing off, dream big, achieve greatness, and unlock your potential today.